What is up, guys? It's Dan the Man, and today I'm going to be recapping the last round of the February Action Chess Championship held here at Chess Zone. Now, as of now, I have a score of 2.5, sorry, not 2.5, 2 out of 3. I lost the third game against Chris Chambers, who is also 2000, and he is actually going to go on to tie for first in this tournament. Unfortunately, or fortunately rather, Chris couldn't play the last game because he had to do something else. I'm not going to disclose personal information, but he just had to leave for something. And actually, this round, a couple people withdrew, so the standings kind of shifted a bit. And there are a lot of people in the same boat as me with 2 out of 3, meaning that there is a lot of competition for money on the line, for prizes potentially. So, anyway, in this game, I'm paired against an individual named Dylan Pfeifer, or Pfeiffer. I don't know what the correct way to pronounce it is, but I'm going to go ahead and say Dylan Pfeiffer. Dylan, if you're watching, next time we see each other, you can tell me what the proper way to say your last name is. But anyway, I think I've played Dylan once in Blitz. I played the Knockmanson Gambit, and I ended up winning pretty quickly. And I noticed Dylan gained a lot of rating really quickly. He's been gaining rating pretty fast. But we'd have never played in classical before, so I'm gonna go ahead and sandwich him straight into the action. He is also someone who's higher rated than me, so this tournament I've been playing people all higher rated than me, which is good in a way because it means I can potentially gain more rating. So here, Dylan plays the move e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and Dylan plays bishop e5, going into the Ruy Lopez. And lately against the Ruy Lopez, I've played a6 going into the Morphy defense, but I decided to go back to my traditional ways and play knight f6, going into the Berlin. And he actually doesn't castle and go for the more drawn line. He plays d3, and I think this is called like the Steinitz defense. When you play d3, or maybe this is the Steinitz defense. There's a line of the Ruy Lopez where you play d6 and it's called the Steinitz defense. Also, let's see if my German or Austrian pronunciation is good by saying Steinitz. I'm trying my best there. Anyway, d3, bishop c5. The point is that this isn't a free pawn, because if this knight takes pawn, we have queen d4 with a fork on the knight. The queen's attacking the knight and the queen's attacking f2, so you can't defend both. So just pointing that out. Dylan castled, and he's playing this very fast, I have to say, like not even thinking for over 5 seconds. Knight d4 is what I choose to do. I attack the bishop, and if the bishop moves, I'll play off the diagonal. I'll play d6. If the bishop stays on the diagonal, I was planning to trade his knight, and then probably castle here. Move like bishop g5, bishop e7, knight c3, d6. This is probably what I would have done. But anyway, here he plays the move. He takes my knight, and the better way to take back is the bishop, and then c3, I retreat to b6. He still has 59 minutes here. He plays the move bishop g5, and I'm playing this fairly fast, but not nearly as fast as he is. h6, he plays the move bishop e3. He kind of wasted a tempo. He could have just went to e3 from this, like he could have just went to e3 right away and not had to waste a tempo, but yeah, when he played bishop g5, h6, I was expecting him to just go back on h4. So it was a little strange to see him go here, but it's not the end of the world for him. I castle. He plays bishop c4 to avoid c6 with tempo, and here after c6, he decides to trade bishops. I take with the a pawn, so that way my rook has some scope on the a file. Dylan plays the move knight to d2. I play d5 to lash on the bishop. The bishop moved back. I play rook e8. He plays queen e2. And I play bishop e6. He plays the move h3. And here I'm considering my options, whether to, take on e4. Let's see, is that good? That's fine. If I can push the pawn, slide the queen up, c5 maybe. There's a lot of options here. I end up playing the move queen c7, just, getting my queen to a slightly better square, and let's just say a random move, king h2, random move. I was going to play this sequence. If he takes my bishop, I was going to take there. So this was sort of the idea I had dwelling in my mind. He plays the move knight f3. I decided to take now, and then take his bishop. I was kind of on the... Now that I lost the third game, I knew I was sort of, not in the driver's seat to win first, but maybe second, or some other class prize. So this game wasn't like a win-win game, but I still was trying my best here. But as the way the game's paving out, it's gonna look like a draw. So a takes b3, knight h5. I'm trying to go to h4. f4. Sorry. He plays knight h4, trying to do the same thing. I play knight f4. He plays the move queen to e3, and here I'm actually having a small advantage. The best move here is to actually give white the open file, and then play rook d8. And the point of that move is you're trying to go rook d3 and build a battery. So let's say, not there, g3 hangs h3, but let's pretend white does this. Yeah, your idea is to go rook d3 here. The queen retreats, and then you play queen d8. And the idea is you're building this nice battery on the d file. You're attacking the knight, and the knight moves. You probably can play a move like that. Oh, sorry. Queen g5. Yeah, way better move than rook d2. Queen g5. And, black's pieces are just crashing through here. So queen e7 is what I choose to play. And, this position is not really a whole lot going on. It's pretty simplified. Queen e7, he plays knight f5. I play queen g5 to threaten checkmate. You can't play here. You hang a fork. You lose your queen. So I guess he could play knight g3. But then, okay, engine says you just play h5 and prepare to play h4 to remove the knight from blocking the checkmate. So really the only move for Dylan here is to play the move queen f3, which he finds. And here he has 55 minutes and I have 45 minutes. So he's pretty clearly moving faster than I am. I play the move queen f6. I didn't really know what else to do. I was kind of worried about knight d6 happening. So let me just show that. Let's say I play a random move. I was kind of worried about knight d6 happening because he attacks my f pawn, he attacks my b pawn, he attacks my rook. A lot of things are hanging. The engine says the best way to deal with that is to trade and then go rook e6 and give up both pawns. White has the option to take either pawn. Knight f7, okay, all of a sudden queen f6, you're winning. Wow. Because the knight's trapped, okay. So what if they take this pawn? Ooh, yeah, the knight's just overextending into the black territory. Yeah, the knight gets trapped either way. If rook a7 happens, okay, yeah, engine says rook g6, okay. Then basically the pawns aren't hanging because the knight will end up getting overextended and eventually lost, which I didn't see. So if he plays king h2 here, and I play king h7, because I want to kick that knight out at some point. But I can't do it now because he'll just take this pawn. So at king h7, I sort of copy him. He plays g3. I move the knight back. And here he plays queen e3, which is kind of annoying because he's attacking my b6 pawn, and I'm like, okay, how do I defend it? How do I defend it? One move I was thinking about is c5, but c5, I was again worried about this knight d6 idea to fork the pawn and the rook. But again, this goes back to the idea of overextending into my territory. So if I go rook e to d8, he has the option to take, but after this, his knight is stuck. See? The knight can't go anywhere. Anytime my pawn seems like it's hanging, he actually can't take because his knight would end up getting trapped. So that detail is what I missed throughout multiple times in the game. So yeah, after queen e3, another idea is to try to go b5, but then that just lets white go here, I thought. But then again, Engine says to trade rooks, and then kick out the knight like with g6. And let's see if the knight goes there. Yeah, the knight's just trapped again. Oh, oops, sorry. And let's see if white goes rook d1, queen e7. Yeah, the knight's pinned. Okay. So queen b6, yeah, trade rooks. G6, if he goes here, Dylan plays there, then apparently Engine says knight g5 is better for black because you're trying to go queen e6 at some point and then attack on h3. Let's say white tries to go aggressive. First he can take this pawn, but at some point he can probably prepare queen e6 to attack it on h3. So I instead play the move knight c5, which blocks the queen's attack, and Dylan quickly plays the move b4, which I was looking at. And the surprising knight d7, which defends my pawn, is actually a blunder. I thought that was the whole point of playing knight c5, was to go knight d7 and defend the pawn. The Engine here just says to give it up. Queen takes b6. Again, oh, my bad. Rook takes a1, rook takes g6, and this is sort of transposing into the same line as we looked at it just a few seconds ago. So after knight d7, the best move is to bring either rook to the d file to keep pressuring the knight. Dylan does this in a slightly worse manner. He first trades on a8 and then plays rook d1. And I'm a bit worried here because, if I try rook d8, then I'm putting myself into a pretty bad pin. Not to mention the fact that my queen's on the verge of being trapped. So that's not going to cut it. If I try queen e6, then he still brings his rook in here. If I save my queen, he can even sack on h6. And then mate me like that, so that's not going to work. So, yeah, rook d1, I play knight f8. I'm accepting the fact that I'm going to lose the b6 pawn, but he first throws in this move rook d6. And the other idea of knight f8 was to go knight e6. He plays this move h4. And let's see, why didn't he take this? Okay, h4, I guess he wouldn't want me to offer a queen trade on g5 or something, I guess. But h4, and okay, I'm still thinking about how to deal with my b pawn. To either counterattack with rook a2, but the Engine says just to go rook d2. And if you try, let's say b5, queen b6 again. Yeah, there's we've seen this line before where he just played g6. And the knight moves somewhere. And, okay, yeah, this position, you go rook a1 with ideas of queen f3, queen h1. Alright, but, yeah, h4, I did not play rook a2. I was kind of wanting this game to be a draw, because, frankly, I was tired after playing this many games in one day. And, I'd be happy with a draw against Dylan Pfeifer because he is slightly higher rated, and that would be a good way to wrap up the tournament, have a higher than 50% win rate, which is what I try to do every tournament. So, I actually played this move, Rook D8, and here Dylan actually offered me a draw, and I said yes because, as I said earlier, that was my goal. I didn't really see any sort of indication that I could push for a win. Now, to those of you wondering, doesn't Rook D8 hang upon on B6? And I didn't play Rook D8 right away because I was calculating what would happen if White would... second time that happened. Queen takes B6. If you were to... Yeah, I saw this whole thing. If he plays Queen takes B6, you trade rooks. And then I was looking at Knight D4. I saw this Knight D4 idea to interfere with the queen defending F2 and also attack the knight on D6. So I was looking at Knight D4, right? And he has to take the knight, but then queen takes F2. This is my way of going for the draw. And I showed Dylan this after the game. And this is a perpetual because king is stuck. And if the king tries to run, the king can't run too far because Dylan would actually lose the game if he ran the wrong way. Because of H5 check, king takes, queen F3 check, king G5, and F6 checkmate. So Dylan couldn't evade the checks, and this would be my way of... I saw this line would be the way I'd secure the draw. So if you look at the accuracy, we see that we both played at almost the same accuracy, differing by only a tenth of a percent. So 93.2 and 93.1. So this was a pretty steady game, and the only reason he was better is because of Knight D7, which is a seemingly natural move to defend the pawn. This was the only time Dylan was better in the game, but thankfully he didn't convert correctly. So yeah, we ended up with a score of 2.5 out of 4 in the tournament. I end up tying for the U1900 prize with like a few other people, which is nice. And yeah, the rating results have came out. I'll link those in the description, and I'm very happy to report that I've gained 55 rating points from this tournament, meaning my rating went from 1812 to 1867, which is also a new peak rating for me. So, this is my new highest rating I've ever had. And going to this tournament was a great idea, and it paid off. I'd say it was a success because we played... Everyone I played was higher rated than me, and I got 2 draws and 2 wins and a draw against people higher rated than me, and three of my opponents were 2,000. So I'm showing that I'm eligible to have good results against 2,000s and above potentially. So yeah, gaining 55 rating points from this event, that was very nice. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you guys for watching. This was a great tournament for me. Thank you guys for watching. If you like content like this, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my tournament performance. And have a great rest of your day. I'm recording this very late, as you can see, so I'm gonna go to sleep right after this. So have a great rest of your day or night. Bye.